Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, the direct purchase and pricing email inquiry line for your questions about the price of this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing a watch launched in 2010 that is one of the iconic Jaeger-LeCoultre model families. This is the Master Memovox, 40 millimeters in rose gold. The watch is fairly compact for a automatic winding alarm complication, as it measures 13.8 millimeters thick and from lug to lug a reasonable 47.8 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist real quick. My wrist, as you know, for reference, is 16 centimeters in circumference, and the timepiece fits easily. As you can see, it's not terribly broad across the wrist at under 48 millimeters. It's not terribly thick either. It's maybe not going to clear the absolute tightest of dress sleeves, but it's a comfortable and accommodating watch that wears easily on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and it'll fit underneath any jacket cuff, to be sure. Now, jumping in close again, you can see that the watch includes a strap in dark brown alligator leather, large rectangular scale on the top. It's bolstered down its center with a sheer-sided profile showing you the layers of leather, a monotone brown stitch, and as you can see, calfskin on the underside. This is a brand new Jaeger-LeCoultre factory strap. There is a double folding deployant clasp, a feature that gives you insurance against accidental droppage while donning or removing. And the case band itself is handsome but spare, polished sheer with a little bit of an integration of a bevel into the tip of the lugs, which you'll note actually do thin out considerably. They have immense grace at their tips, even as the case itself is a little bit broad to accommodate the automatic winding and the alarm system. Everything's of high polish, and you'll note there are two crowns, and the crowns themselves are distinctive. They are individually labeled. This one for setting the date as well as winding and setting the alarm, and this one for setting the time of day. Now you can see on the dial side, handsomely appointed, anything but an entry-level watch. All of the indices are applique. They are diamond polished and faceted. We have tri-Arabic numerals at 6, 9, and 12. And of course there is a sunburst center. There are two different metallic sheens, sunburst at center and then more of an opaline flat mat for the hour track. You'll note that the hands at center are alpha style, pinched, and then there's a blued counterweighted lancet style seconds hand at 28,800 vibrations per hour ticking away. Note the attention to detail. There is a loomed index outboard of each one of these hours, and each index features a black border to contrast more dramatically by day. You'll also appreciate the fact that the watch is quite vocal. We'll fire it up. The Memovox alarm, a signature of Jaeger-LeCoultre since 1950, will fire this one up with its distinct hanging alarm, which is separate from the case and thus able to ring and sustain in a way a conventional alarm cannot. Remember, this is a hanging alarm. Let's have a listen. Like the school bell on the last day of classes. School is out. I should also mention that it'll run for about 25 seconds when fully wound, but I don't see any need for that here. Now, unlike previous Memovox calibers, this one does feature a quick set. It's done using the crown that would otherwise wind the alarm and set the alarm. The crown down at 4 o'clock activates your setting mode, so you have your hacking or stop seconds. You can wind the watch manually, and of course you can set the time. The index, the triangular index, is used to set the time that the alarm will ring, and in my opinion you can set it to about a 5-minute interval of accuracy. Underneath the case back, 45-hour power reserve unidirectional winding, 23 jewel manufacturer caliber 956. It launched on the tribute to Polaris back in 2008. It's JLC's most modern alarm family. You have that hanging gong, you have the stop seconds function, the quick set, the alarm, 23 jewels, 45-hour power reserve, unidirectional winding, and ceramic rotor bearings. The two features in combination making for a very efficient winding system. It also features a free-sprung balance for greater shock resistance and 50-meter water resistance, which is more than you might expect in a dress-style watch. The geosphere on the caseback was the symbol of the International Geophysical Year of 1957 and 1958, and it would have been featured on the packaging for the original Geophysic model. Also important is the fact that today it represents the Master 1000 Hours Control, a 1000-hour chronometry and durability test to which JLC subjects these movements. 1,000 hours of winding efficiency, power reserve, water resistance, durability, and of course chronometric testing to ensure the precision. It was one of the first in-house timing standards that exceeded the COSC requirements. This is perhaps the ultimate travel companion, and I will say among complications I find the alarm to be the most polyvalent, the one I use most often, and the one that I find myself most in need of when I am out of the country on affairs. It's also great for making the test, making class, or making the meeting. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. We're back with the JLC Master Memovox. Note that you can set the alarm even by night.